Hello, incredible listeners, and welcome back to Third Eye Talks. You are going to love, love, love today's episode. We are going to be talking all about the spiritual significance and the role of our beloved pets and animals. And to help me speak on the topic today is an expert, Miki Jacobs, who is a medium, speaker, and author. And she is going to be talking to us about, like I said, our beloved pets. So, hi, Mickey.
Hi, lovely being here. Thank you, Naz, for inviting me on.
I am so happy to have you here. And I can't even tell you how many of my listeners and friends are already looking forward to this episode
Um,
because we love our animals.
yes, yeah,
And so, my very first question, because I do have a lot of ground to cover, so I want to jump right in.
sure.
Is, I want to say thank you for sending me a copy of your book. And in it, you talk about the difference between animal soul groups and human soul groups. So I do want to ask you, can you tell us the difference between the two? Can you take us
Of
through that?
course. So let me briefly talk about the souls of animals first, because this is the foundation of all other information, including why they are equal to us. So this is really important. So in a nutshell, souls, the word souls, mean that it is a fragment or part of the extension of the creator, which is, of course, we're talking about energy that permeate everything and everyone. So all forms have a soul reside within their body. So of course that would be human forms or all animals. Of course, also nature have the creator reside within them, and we sometimes refer to it as the phrase a chi. So animals, including our beloved pets, have gods within their body as we are. So the reason I started the book with that chapter, because again, this is give the foundation of all other information. Now, what does that mean? It's mean because we have God within us, meaning the soul, so as animals, we are equal to them. It was an important message for me to bring forward in the book that animals are not secondary to humans. They have the same essence within the body. They might look different. Of course, animals have different species, and human being is one species. They look different. They look more limited. No, they just pet. Oh, no, they're not. Because the energy of the creator within the body, as souls, we carry his characteristics or DNA. We're not God, of course. This is a very small, tiny fraction of his, but pets, animals have the power of God within them. Again, pay attention to the phrase soul and not the personality. So this is very, very important to keep in mind, that animals have souls. A lot of people don't believe that, which why I even kind of listed in the book the reasons as to why people don't believe they have souls. Religion belief, upbringing belief, they think animals, again, they're just animal, as they use the phrase, where in fact they're not. And there is the soul within animal, within our pet, provide them with absolutely magical powers, more so than us. And the real quick example is that animals, due to their soul within the body, able to easily and naturally see spirit, see other departed, see departed loved ones, see angels, see, which everyone can do what I do. This is my belief, my teaching, but we need great amount of work because we have the mind, the complexity, human being have the complexity of the mind. We have an ego within the body, which is not a word. This is actually an energy within the body that kind of supposed to push us to change. Animals don't have that. So animals, really quick, the reason they don't have an ego, because animal intentionally cannot harm anyone else, while human being can use their free will to harm. And when we intentionally harm other, we kind of feed or generate the ego within the body. So because animals don't have that, Their soul shine through their personality. They are in constant alignment with the Creator, which why they are so soothing to us, which why they live in the present moment. There is no past, there is no future, there is no worry, which why again their soul within the body provide them with so many fascinated power. Again, like I said, they see spirits, they can heal us, and we can tell by the fact that when we're not well, when we have a low mood, when we depress, animals in hospitals, I am a chaplain in a hospitals, they know when we don't feel good, they know through their soul that shine through their personality. They can tell if a person is dying, they can tell when we're ready to exit. And the most important thing, we can talk a bit about it if you like later on, is after the passing, of course, their soul, like human being, exit the physical body at the time of death and continue to accompany us. In regard to the soul groups, honey, the spirit world kind of divide, human soul divide into clusters of souls. Usually it's small group, like let's say between 8 to maybe 15, 20 souls. And we kind of grow with those souls together. We incarnate into planet Earth, That's why the members among soul groups of human refer to as soulmates. Those are souls with whom we incarnate into planet Earth together. Now, do we connected to other soul that out of our soul group? Of course, souls are interconnected with one another, hence the phrase that animal equal to us, and we all connected to the supreme being, to the creator. Animal souls, interestingly enough, divided by their species. So there is mammals, there is pets have its own soul groups. They're divided by animals of oceanic. They're divided by aviary. So they divided kind of by group like that. And souls within each group incarnate into the species they belong to. So a soul can choose to embody any animal within mammals, any animals within creatures in the ocean or aviary or insects. So it was quite fascinating in regard to the soul groups. That's how we grow.
I love that. And I have to ask you kind of an extension question on that because you started to go into it. The souls that you are talking about, this is every single animal, including insects, including all across the board. They possess this energy that you talk about, this soul, this connection to the divine, right? Because we're not just talking about pets that we can domesticate or like cats and dogs only or horses. We're talking about every single animal species down to a fly. Am I
Naz, without the soul, the body would cease to exist. The soul, as the chi in trees and nature, sustain the form. So God is sustainer. So God is within us. So every animals fly. That's why I don't kill anything.
right?
Not for me to kill any ant. I don't want their soul to exit
I
prematurely.
I love that clarification because I think sometimes I've always believed in that animals have their own soul groups, but I had never had the opportunity to ask an expert if that applies to things like flies and ants and cockroaches and insects of any shape and size. So I'm glad that you clarified that for us.
Of course.
Now, in terms of the mission of our pets in our lives. I do want to talk a little bit about that. You have a chapter called Beyond Simple Companionship in your book, which, by the way, for those of you listening in, is called Sacred Wild. And you talk about how the role of the pets in our lives goes beyond them being companions. So can you tell us what is the mission of our pets in our lives?
So the overall umbrella that the mission is, the number one mission is to teach us, which this is another thing that they have and we don't have, is unconditional love. So pets, it is their first mission. They enter planet Earth, the souls of pets, to interact with us human being, to create a close and intimate relationship with us human being. and to teach us unconditional love. It's interesting, Naz, that over the years there were souls of pets that would enter a reading. And I asked them the concept of cross incarnation. I asked souls of pets, did you ever enter into human? They say, not interested. Because
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
exactly, because they claim we outgrew. I mean, we outgrew. We have an unconditional love. Love is the creator. Is an essence of energy. Is love. So that's the first thing they teach us. How they teach us that? Well, look at them, Naz. Look at their love. Look at their devotion. If we look at that, if your viewer today, let's say, don't believe in a soul within an animal, don't believe in God as energy, then they wouldn't know what to look for. However, I'm sure people look at that kind of podcast, obviously open to that. So yes, they teach us from day to day. You can see their interaction, you can see their love. I would say their mission as well is they detect the personality of us human beings. Shy people, they help to open us up. They know when they need exercise. Look, when you have a dog, all of a sudden, you need to take them out. So you
Yeah.
walk and you you can be in. So you move. Of course, if the soul incarnate into a a feline form, meaning a cat form, that would be different mission. Look at cats; they teach you independent. Oh, I love cats. I go insane for cats. I mean, I'm the definition of a cat lady. A crazy cat lady. So yeah, so the mission is undescribable. I mean, look, when kids, they learn responsibility, they learn to care for other beings, they learn the love. Again, we touch a little bit as to their mission is to protect us. If you see people that have a small baby, how the dog can come in often and sit just near the crib. So all that is designed because, again, there is God, to a lesser degree, of course, within their body. It's fascinating, real amazing example that cats in specifically, dogs can do that, but cats, they detect negative energy around us. They kind of absorb it in their own system and release it away from us. So this is just one mission as to actually they are protecting us. They can warn us because they see energy, which we don't. So
Yeah.
again, as we mentioned, they detect. So their mission is so important. Of course, we need to give them back because the way souls grow is natural. I'm going to teach you that when we enter into planet Earth, and you're going to teach me that. And then, so animals, the pets, obviously give us all that role in our life. We have to give them back. We have to be loyal to them until their last breath. We have to give them everything they need, which I mentioned in the book, their health, their mental health. It's kids. I don't see a difference between human kids and animals. I really don't. A lot of people do. I don't see any difference. So once you see them as your children, you would act as if it is a human child because they are. So the mission is so broad, so beautiful, so amazing that we need them in our lives.
Yeah. I love that. Because I believe in soul planning, right? So do we bring them in for a particular phase of our lives when we do our soul contracts? Like, do we
Oh, I
say at
love
this point in my
that.
life, I need you to come in and help me with something in particular?
Sure. So I love that you mentioned soul contract, which what we have on planet Earth incarnations with human and our pets. So the soul contract, it is a sacred agreement that we designed prior to us entering planet Earth. Within the blueprint of the soul contract, the detail of the soul contract, everything is there. The precise pet that would come to our life with the precise form. Sometimes they come a dog, a cat, a tortoise. Also all the detail, including the divine timing. So when you, a person, have how we like, oh, I gotta get a dog. At least it's so strong in me, Naz. My poor husband, he say, here he comes again.
Seems like she needs another cat.
I know, of course, we have 20 animals, so I don't know how much more I can add now. But it's so powerful and so strong. Why is that so strong? Because we have a soul within the body, and a soul informs us as to the divine timing. It's time. So where we get the pets, how pets, whether stray of shelters, the specific shelter, all that is pre-designed by the soul. So indeed, yes, the time when they come to us. So the pets that you have right now are the pets you meant to have. And by the way, it's the same thing with soulmates as humans. You know,
Yeah.
the significant people in our life also come at the precise time. In regard to the length of the time, everything designed by the soul. The
Yeah.
entering planet Earth designed by the soul, as well as the exit of planet Earth, meaning the time of death. So
Mm.
indeed, when the soul exit planet Earth, when your pet died, it is indeed the correct timing. However, this is a risky planet. We need to be responsible for our pets. Unfortunately, I come across a lot of people that leave the gate open and pets, you know, it's planet Earth. We leave early, we incarnate again. Nonetheless, it's a hard day. So please be careful about pets. Cherish them until the whatever length of the incarnation meant to be, and then send them back to God.
Hmm. I want to talk on that because I know we're almost, at our time, but and I want to cover the loss of pets because I know that is something that is so significant in our journey. And so
Yes,
I do want to ask really quickly though, you said that that the same animal soul can reincarnate multiple times. It can be
yes,
like the same dog, like my dog that I had when I was a kid might reincarnate and reappear again as a dog or a cat or whatever later on
yes.
in my life. That's yeah,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
That is correct, honey. So they come together. Sometimes the soul would enter different form,
Mhm.
but they would come to, again, the more spiritual we are, the more we open to the concept, the more receptive, the more we can detect. If you have more than one pet, you can love, I love all my 20 animals, but specifically with two, I remember past lives with them, and one of them is a tortoise.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Thank you for clarifying that for me. So, okay, I want to jump into the loss of our pets because
Mhm.
I know that anyone who has had a pet and has lost one, that has been a very significant moment
Yes,
in their lives. And so I want to talk about where do they go? What happens to our pets? I know they leave their physical form, but
yes.
what happens to them? And specifically, if you could get into detail about how do they communicate or continue to communicate and help us
Of course.
from that other place.
Oh, of course. So, human soul and pets or animal soul go through the exact same process. Once again, once the body dies, the soul exits the physical form from the top of the head, as referred to the crown chakra, and travel back to the spirit world. The difference among us of them, again, is the complexity of human being life on earth and animals. Due to the ego, human being, we create a karma. If we negative, karma meaning the energy is imbalanced within the soul, and in future incarnation, it's have to be balanced back. So the way it's go within human being, what I've been shown, there's kind of levels within the spirit world. And depending on our spiritual awareness here on planet Earth, we enter into a more higher frequency level or a higher dimension. That's why they are very low dimension or dense dimension. So people ask me, is there a hell? Yes, but it's not a specific place. Those are very low dimensions. Serial killers go there, people that continue to harm the collective or individual. Animals don't have that because animals are angelic. Again, they do not use their free will to intention harm someone. They can attack, they can protect their offspring. Human being can teach, let's say, a German Shepherd to attack a human being, but that's not their intention. So because they don't have it, animals do not accumulate negative karma. and therefore they go back to a heavenly dimension where all animals soul together. So that is the difference between animals and human souls. Also, really quick, human souls sometimes, depending on the passing, depending on what happened to the where the life stopped for human soul, we can have rare but happen. We some souls can have a difficult transition. Human souls can be stuck sometimes, rare, but animals don't do that. So when your pet died, the soul beautifully, calmly, never fear. Please know that when our pets died, no matter how it's appeared to us, my pet was alone. No, they're not. They have beautiful elemental or nature spirits. Gaia, our mother earth, help them to exit the body and accompany them into the heavenly dimension of the spirit world. So your pet's never alone when they die. Having said that, of course, it's devastating. We're still here. I can know all the rule of spirituality. I lose a pet. I'm absolutely clinically depressed for a while. So this is, of course, that doesn't mean that we're spiritual. However, know that they're not alone. Know that they're not in fear, because the Creator, with His great mercy, of course, watch over animals when they cross over. So in that regard, ease your mind. In regard to them communicate with us, again, similar to other souls, similar to spirit guides, similar to angels, similar to other light being, and that's considered signs. So our departed loved one provide us with a lot of signs, a lot. Again, the more open we are to the concept of signs, meaning signs that they prove the continuation of their soul after death, meaning signs, we're not dead, we're right here. So usually pets give us signs in nature, hummingbird, butterfly, unusual animal coming our way like rabbit and wild animals. Anyway, pets a lot of time would do noises within the house, very common. For example, when we downstairs here, upstairs, all the cats are, when cats jump to hardwood floor and you can kind of hear the thumping. So we have that so loud, and of course we know that those are our beloved departed cats. So sometimes they move the leash or they move picture, or I mean, remember, they're not the pets anymore, they're souls. And they're powerful and they're magical. The more so learn about souls, work on your spiritual receptivity. The more we receptive, the more, if we're not open to a concept of signs, we can have them all day long and we won't know what to look for. So in that regard, our departed pet always with us. And also look at your pet you have now. Look how they look around. I mean, it's fascinating how many times we see our pets kind of look around or focus on a certain thing. That's because they see their departed siblings.
Oh, I love that. I'm sure that's gonna bring so much comfort to those who have lost their pets. Um, as a final question, if someone just very recently lost a pet, um, what would be your words of advice to them to help them to deal with the grief that they are in right now? Because I think a lot of what you said, we process with time, but when you're in the grief of losing that beloved pet, you need a some special words. So I know, since you
Of
communicate with them, what are some
of
words of
course.
advice that you can give to those who are currently in that grieving phase?
Of course. So grieving, first of all, must be expressed because this is an energy that you don't want to bottle in. Also, no matter what spiritual awareness we are, we have to express that. As to the advice, grow spiritually, accumulate spiritual knowledge, because spiritual knowledge, for example, the spiritual knowledge I do today, or any spiritual teacher, nothing's new to us. It's merely to awaken our own memory. Meaning, when you go to spiritual event or read spiritual book, the information as should sit with you. You would know it to be so. That's why when I give event, when I talk, I say, I'm not giving anything new here. It should resonate with you. The more spiritual we are, spiritual mean open to the concept of the spirit world, open to the concept that when your life end, your pets would greet you back home, as well as you obviously apply that information to departed pet. So spiritual knowledge, fill your intellect with spiritual facts. The more you do that, the more you're able to handle grief and death in your life. Certainly that include departed pets.
I love that, Miki. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I know that our audience is going to want to get in touch with you, maybe to talk further about an individual experience they're having. How can we find you? How can we get in touch with you? And how can we get some of your services?
Of course. So the website is Miki Jacobs with an S at the end.com. So everything's there. We updated for event. We updated stuff. I do periodically free 10, 12 minutes videos about spiritual topics, certainly about animals. My Facebook professional is under Media Miki Jacobs. So I put a lot of fun. My animals are there, and again, a lot of teaching. So basically, is that you can get the newsletter. So I have a lot of interview like yourself does to kind of spread the message of my book. Yeah, so that's basically.
I love it. I love it, Mikey. I'm sorry. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
Got distracted by by the voice. Okay.
uh,
I love it. Thank you so much for being with
Pleasure.
us today. This episode, I almost cried thinking about my pets that have passed on because
Oh,
everything that you said, I still see so many of my pets, not see them, but feel their
yes,
energy and see their messages. And I
yes,
think animals are one of the most divine beings to
yes,
really give us signs, show us the way, show us unconditional love. They're just incredible. So
yes.
work you're doing is amazing. And I do hope, my dear audience, that you will get the book Sacred Wild, which is such a good read. It's an easy read, it's a fun read, and it's a really spiritual, deep read. So please go and check that out. And of course, go and follow Micah, and go ahead,
Miki,
Miki, go and follow Miki.
I know you're not the only one.
Go and follow Miki, and make sure that you check out her website and that you pick up the book. Miki, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so
Oh,
much for the information, for the
goodness.
comfort you brought to us, and for delivering the message that you're delivering
Thank
to
you.
our
Thank
beloved
you. It was
pets.
wonderful being here.
It's an
Thank you so much.
incredible mission. Thank you for accepting it. And to
Thank
my
you.
dear listeners, I will see you next time on Third Eye Talks. Bye bye.